Good morning, Rotarians. Good morning, guests. We are very, very privileged this morning to have our very own AG Valentino Hamilton with us this morning as our guest speaker, but I'll leave that introduction for its proper time. Welcome to our 7 a.m. sunrise meeting. Why don't we take a minute to fellowship with each other, and then right after we will have Father Palacios start us with the invocation. So just a minute, I won't challenge you as hard as I did last week, okay? But the next challenge will have Brian. I did so much. Okay, good morning. Good morning. Father Palacios, are you ready for us? The invocation, please. Thanks.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. Let us pray. Good and gracious God, we give you thanks for your gift of another day. We ask that we would use this day wisely to your honor and to your glory as on this meeting. May all who participate in it, all who benefit from the executed plans that we hope you would be able to do, all of these things would be done to your honor and to your glory. These and all other blessings we ask through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Okay. And then we'll have the loyal toast by Therese Simmons. Therese.
Yes. Good morning, President
Morning.
Dino. Morning. Can everybody raise your mugs, glasses this morning and join me in to Commonwealth of the Bahamas?
Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And now Secretary Leah Collar will come and do the welcome. Thank you.
Good morning, fellow Rotarians and guests. happy to have in the room with us this morning, Carl Isaac, who is visiting from the Rotary Club of Providenciales. So please welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. On the line, I see the Rotaract Club of Nassau Sunset. I'm not sure who exactly is on that line, but if you could just say good morning to us.
Good day, it's President Donato from Nassau Sunset. Trying to make it there in person before work, but on the Zoom call until. But thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us this morning. Am I missing anyone? If anyone is on the line that I've missed, please identify yourself.
Yes, good morning. It's Michael from Satellite Rotary Club in Miami. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Michael. I don't know if we should consider you a guest anymore, but thank you for joining us this morning and have a great day, everyone.
Okay.
Good morning. This is Cicely Johnson from the Rotary Club of South Ocean. Good morning, everyone.
Yes, good morning, Cicely. My apologies, and welcome to you as well. And just an announcement for anyone coming up, please. The floor is very slippery, so just be careful.
Thanks. And now, Director Tamara with the raffle. Yeah.
Good morning, Rotarians and guests. We have another Amazon gift certificate for you, $75 e-certificate, 1 for 5, 3 for 10. If you're online, please place your interest in the group and we will get those tickets to you so you can see them in your WhatsApp. Please have those requests to be by 7:45 a.m. so we can kind of wrap up what we're doing here. Thank you.
Club announcements, birthdays, we have Dr. Bentley Higgs on July 9th and Eric Butler, July 15th. And any other announcements? I'll open the floor for other announcements at this time. PP Sophia, want to talk about the
guest. I'm going to once again talk about the Nassau Sunrise Cup that is scheduled for July 30th. It's our major fundraising golf tournament, and we are still registering individuals to play. We're particularly interested in registering companies who can put in at least, once again, this is a Rotary Club of Nassau Sunrise event. It is not a Sophia tournament. It is not President Dino's tournament. It is our golf tournament. And the extent to which we participate in the tournament is going to be the success of the tournament. While we are not, you may not necessarily be on the committee, that does not preclude you from participating. How you can participate is by getting other golfers. I know all of you know people who golf. There's any number of golf tournaments going on right now. In fact, one is happening today with the Omega Psi Phi fraternity. These people, you know these people. Just ask them to please come out and join us on the 30th because this is our major fundraiser. Without this money, we are not going to be able to do half of the things that President Dino has planned for this year. And that is, to me, tragic. Okay, because you cannot, anyway, thank you. The flyer has been posted by Rotarian Tamara, right? On our social media pages. We put it in our chat groups. All you need to do is to share it widely as you do any other gossip that comes along in your mailbox. Please just share this so that folks can register. I don't know what else to say, President Dino.
Thank you very much for that, Director PP Sophia. And now I'd like to call on PAG Karen to introduce our speaker.
Good morning, fellow Rotarians. Guests, it's my pleasure to introduce A.G. Valentino Marino Hamilton. He joined Rotary in November of 2006 as a member of the Rotary Club of New Providence. He served in the position of membership chair for 3 years, from 2013 until 2017, and as foundation chair for the year of 2020 to 2021. In 2018, he served as the president of that fine club for the year 2018 to 2019. In 2021, he worked with existing Rotarians to charter the newest and youngest club in Nassau, the Rotary Club of South Ocean. He was a member of the steering committee that led to the formation, organization, and eventual charter of that club. He also served as the foundation chair for that club for the years 2020 to 2023. He also assists Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas as the area coordinator for the youth and new generation services for the Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas. He has later been elevated at the district level to the position of new generation services exchange chair for District 7020 for the years 2022 to 2023, a post which he will also hold again this current Rotary year. In addition to the district position of New Generation Service Exchange Chair, he will also hold the position of Assistant Governor for the Bahamas East Clubs for this year. He's a passionate Rotarian, passionate about Rotary and service to the community. He's an attorney with more than 19 years of service at the bar of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and he is a litigation partner in the law firm of Sears & Co. He's also a member of the board of directors of the Bahamas Maritime Authority and a member of Rise Up Bahamas, the Bahamas Financial Services Board, and the Bahamas Middle Temple Society. He enjoys sports of all kinds and giving back to our community. Please join me in welcoming our Assistant Governor, Assistant Governor.
Thank you very much, past Assistant Governor Karen Pinder. I really appreciate that kind introduction by you. Before I start, I just want to acknowledge the presence of two great Rotarians here. Firstly, of course, we have past District Governor Felix Stubbs, who is one of your own and is seated right at the back here. And I don't know, we kind of gave you this full recognition, but also with us today is past Assistant Governor Carl Isaacs, who's been served as an Assistant Governor in the Turks and Caicos Islands for several years. And even served at district level, I believe, as a district disaster chair. So, these are two important district leaders that we don't want to overlook their importance. And certainly, it's great to share in this experience today with you and Rotary Club of Nassau Sunrise with them as well. So I just wanted to acknowledge their presence here today. I just want to say how grateful I am for this opportunity to share with you this morning. Here at the Rotary Club of Nassau Sunrise, or as you say, your famous slogan, the greatest little club in the galaxy, although I'm sure you will acknowledge that you're not so little anymore, because I think when I last checked, you had, 81 members. So you're not so little, but you're still a great club. And so this morning, I just want to talk to you about creating hope briefly in the world, creating hope. I want to encourage you in your endeavors for the 2023-24 Rotary year. But before doing so, I just want to begin by acknowledging what a great club you are and the great work that you've done in the community. So this club, as you know, has produced one district governor, and I've acknowledged him already. And, I see his banner over there, and dare to say, not just any district governor, but one of, if not the greatest district governors we've had in 70-20, your very own district governor, for us, Governor Felix Club, and who hosted, if not certainly one of the best district conferences we've had in our district right here in the Bahamas. So that's something you should be very proud of. This club has produced, I think, no less than 4 assistant governors. One who just introduced me, your very own past assistant governor, Karen Pinder, who's seated here today. You have past assistant governor Mario Smith, who's also been a great source of inspiration and mentorship for me and us as we charted the Rotary Club of South Ocean. You have past assistant governor, now elevated, her ladyship, the Honorable Madam Justice Carla Card Stubbs, another great leader of your club. And so that's something you should be proud of as a club. You produce great district governor, you produced leaders in a district who've served as assistant governor, and even leaders who've served at district level. Persons, so I'm talking about leaders in your club, such as past President Tanya Woodside. I see past President Sophia Roll here today, another great leader in your club. And so that's something you ought to be very proud of. And so you're a dynamic club with great leaders and a great support system. And so it's not surprising to me that last year you achieved Blue Diamond status. In fact, every year, the Rotary Club of Nassau Sunrise is always among the top clubs in our district, every year. And that's a testament to the great Rotarians, the great leadership that you have here. You're also not just a great club, but you sponsor a great Rotaract club. And I saw President Shanato Moss, I think he's joining us live in the virtual world today, who's the current president of the Rotaract Club of Nassau Sunset. That's your club, your Rotaract club that you sponsored. And that's something you should be proud of. And I know you're familiar with a young lady by the name of Robin Curtis. Well, that's your Rotaractor from your Rotaract club who served last year as the district Rotaract representative. And I'm told that she's only the second Bahamian to have ever held that post, and she served with distinction in the district. And she had a wonderful conference here, the Just Vibes conference. So that's something, again, you should be very proud of. You sponsored Lisa and Patrick, I know is here to fact check me, at least 3 Interact clubs? What are those 3 Interact clubs? Kingsway, GHS, SAC. That's right. And again, we've already alluded to the fact that you stand at 81 members, and just recently you inducted 10 on the same night of the installation of President Dino. That will become your satellite club. So again, you continue to grow, you continue to expand, and you continue to great things. And over the years, you've done lots of great projects. Recently, you assisted us, you sponsored no less than close to 50 students to our Ryla, Mini Ryla here in the Bahamas. You've done work with the Elizabeth Estate Soccer Program designed to help children in that area. You've done work with the Children Emergency Hospital Fund. You partnered with your own member, Keisha Knowles, I think, who's the current service project chair. Yes, and a Feeding 5,000 network to deliver meals in the inner city of New Providence and to the Nazareth Center. You partnered with the other Rotary clubs, particularly last year, and so they did repair work to the Salvation Army. You have a dynamic Rotary Means business chair, Archeline O'Brien. You've conducted and carried out vocational seminars and mentorship workshops at the mall and Marathon, even at GSH. You partnered with Bahamas Smiles to teach more than 200 campers how to play the game of basketball. During the pandemic, you introduced a reading cafe, I think, which you partnered with several clubs, and you sought to introduce what you call a free digital library. And just last year, you donated, I think, close to $20,000 to the foundation. And that's something to be proud of, in between your donation to the annual fund and your donation to the polio. But if I could challenge you in one area, I would just encourage you to increase that donation to the polio. And so, President Dino, maybe offline, you'll have a talk about the goal for polio this year, because this is a very important year for us. As a very old Barry Rassin will serve as the chair of the foundation. He has a very ambitious goal of seeking to raise 500 million. And so we want to encourage all of our clubs to give as much as possible to the Rotary Foundation. And certainly you well known for your mobile libraries that have been throughout the entire Bahamas for many years. And so I say all of this to say that you're already doing great things. You are already creating hope in the world. But the thing about Rotary is it always challenges to do more, and we can always do more. And this sort of ties in with when we look at the Rotary strategic priorities and what Rotary teaches us. So anyone want to give me at least one or two of those strategic priorities, if you could recall? Just one or two. 4 strategic priorities. Well, no worries. So the 4 Rotary strategic priorities are, of course, 1, increase our impact; 2, expand our reach; 3, enhance participant engagement; 4, increase our ability to adapt. And if I were to summarize that in my word, I would simply say make an impact. Tell others about what we're doing and be flexible to adapt to change, because the Rotary was started in 1905 or 2023. So time has changed. Some of the things we did in years past, may no longer be relevant today. But I like the words that are added onto the strategic priorities: increase, expand, enhance, and again, increase, which says not that we're not doing these things, but we can do more. And so that's what I'm saying to you. You've been doing great things, but I want to challenge you today to do more, to increase what you're doing, and make an impact. And so all of these things, tie in wonderfully to the theme of our Rotary International President, Gordon R. McNally's Create Hope in the World. In fact, he would tell you that the Rotary's action plan and strategic priorities, as well as the vision statement. And I know you know the vision statement out of the top of your head. Together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change in communities. I know you know that off the top of your head, but he would tell you that all of these things actually tie in with this theme, which is to create hope in the world. In fact, in his own words, President McNally believes that the priorities and Rotary's vision statement are just that. They are what he says, a charge to create hope. In his words, we create the lasting change that we speak about in our vision statement by first creating hope in the world. And so I know many of you have probably read his speech or you've heard his speech, and you know that primarily focuses on 2 key areas, which is promoting peace in troubled nations and helping those afflicted in conflict. And he talks about maintaining the momentum on initiatives that have been begun by past leaders in Rotary. And so this morning, I'm not limiting you to those areas. I'm encouraging you to create hope in as many areas as possible, in those same areas that I listed, that you've already been doing so. And his goal is to restore hope, to help the world heal from destructive conflicts, and in turn help us to achieve a lasting change. And of course, this, for those of you who may not know, his theme is partly based on the story he tells about visiting Thailand. He met a woman in Thailand who had lost everything as a result of the tsunami in 2004. She lost her husband, lost her children, lost all of her belongings, of sources of livelihood. And in meeting that woman, she gave him a shell. And at first, he did not want to accept that seashell. But after she explained to him the reason for her giving him the seashell, he accepted it. And what she said is, I'm giving you the seashell because of the great work Rotary has done here. I think at the time, Rotary members were there to help build houses, a meeting hall, and even a child care, health care facilities, which, and these things are done so much for that community. He said, the work Rotary has done has restored my hope. And that is the reason behind the theme and the seashell. So if you look at his pin, you'll see that design is shaped in a seashell, and the colors, he says, represents the various colors of the world. And that is a part of the source of the inspiration for his theme. The comment of that encounter with the woman who was thanking him for allowing and Rotary for what they've done in terms of restoring hope, restoring optimism. And so when we look at hope, hope has been defined as a desire for something or happen or wish for things to get better. Another writer, I think, puts it in a way that hope is the belief that your future will be better today than you are able to make it better. And if you talk to doctors, you talk to psychologists and medical experts, they will tell you that hope is very important because it reduces feelings of helplessness, it increases our happiness, it reduces stress, it improves our quality of life. And so why is hope important now? Well, certainly in the Bahamas, we know we've been through a lot. We've had Dorian, which has destroyed Abaco, and certainly Abaco is still in the process of coming back together. Throughout the world, we've had to deal with the challenges of the pandemic. Some have not made it out of the pandemic alive. Some have lost homes, some have lost sources of income. In other parts of the world, we know that there's wars. We know about the war in Ukraine. We know about wars in Sudan, wars in Yemen. While we can't say that we're experiencing a war here in the Bahamas, we know that we have our own wars on the street. We know there's crime, there's gang violence, there's abuse. These are all our wars and challenges that we face today that make the future to some seem bleak. But that's where Rotarians can come in to create hope in the world. And so the question is, well, how do we create hope in the world? Well, I think President McNally said it best when he said, we create hope in the world by continuing to do what we do best and by being willing, open, and remaining open to change. So all of those great things that I mentioned at the beginning that you're doing, he's essentially saying is continue to do them, but do them with a greater sense of urgency and a greater impact level. So, and one of the things he talks about is continuity and the beauty of Rotary. And he talked about his desire to continue with programs that his predecessors have started, in particular Jennifer Jones and President Mekar, particularly the programs with empowering young women and young girls. And then likewise, I want to give that same encouragement to President Dino and his board. And to steal a phrase from the political arena, great leaders don't stop, review, and cancel. If something is it's working well, that's the beauty of Rotary. If it is working well, then you should continue to do those things. There may be great things that President Garnett did last year. I wouldn't encourage you to stop. I would continue to work on those things. Maybe things that President Francis did in her years, or past President Sophia. Continue to do those things. Maybe you may tweak, you may add those things. Not to say that there may not be other things you may add or to what you're doing now, but those things that you have been doing well, and I listed a whole lot of them, and I could go on, but continue to do those things well. How do you create hope in the world? Well, you can create hope in the world by continuing with your efforts to support the Rotary Foundation. And I've said earlier that last year you contributed, I think, close to $20,000 to the Rotary Foundation between your giving to the annual fund and to polio. I know that polio is a work in progress, and I encourage you to be ambitious. Polio, we're almost there, but we can't keep our eye off the target. And so I encourage you to continue with your efforts and what you've been doing and giving to the Rotary Foundation. And how do we create hope in the world? Well, continue with their efforts, the programs I mentioned to empower young women. So I know many Rotary clubs here have had, and you're no different, mentorship seminars, whether at the William A. Pratt Center. I know there was one last year where there was a speed networking session, I think, right here at Crypto Isle with at-risk females, where we had young professionals met with at-risk students who were in high school, just to speak, to mentor them, to give them, again, that sense of optimism, let them know that they can make a difference and, in the world and not just the Bahamas. So I encourage you to look at those opportunities. How do you create hope in the world? Well, one of the other things that President McNally talked about is to focus on mental health and mental wellness. And interestingly enough, this also ties into one of the goals, the key goals for our district governor, David Kirkcaldy, and he's appointed a district wellness chair. He's asked each country to appoint a district wellness coordinator, and he's even gone even further. And I'm sure you've all, President, you've seen it, asking each club to appoint a wellness ambassador, and that is something that's very important to creating hope. Getting people to feel comfortable about talking about mental health issues and the importance of it, to getting help for it. But not only that, I think that another aspect of wellness that we neglect, and I'll never forget a comment that past Assistant Governor Carla Stubbs made, I think, when she served as the district wellness chair. Oftentimes we say the Rotary logo, service above self, but we forget that aspect of it. How can we give service if self is not taken care of? So I encourage you, even as a part of that wellness focus, to take care of your members and their well-being. As I said, we've come out of difficult times recently, navigating out of the pandemic. These are some serious times here, not just in the world, but also here in the Bahamas. How do you create hope in the world? But I encourage you to continue to promote peace in the world in our community, which is another focus of our president. So here in the Bahamas, you're familiar with the Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas Road to Peace Committee. And so I encourage you to support that initiative, which was started many years ago. And I know past District Governor Felix Stubbs could fact check me, by past District Felix Stubbs, past President Willie Wong, past District Governor Charles Seeley, past Assistant Governor Tim Ingram, I think past President Charlie Storton have been part of that many years. So again, that's another example of a genesis or a great concept and idea that partly came out of the bosom of this great club. And President McNally said something in a speech that is very powerful when he, and talking about peace. And this is a powerful statement I want to resonate in your mind. He said, peace is the soil where hope takes root. And so that's a major focus of our Gordon McNally. And likewise, while we can't say, as I've said, that we're involved in a war or we have civil unrest, we know that there are some battles that we're facing, particularly in terms of crime. And then so I encourage you, President Dino, I encourage you, Rotary Club of Nassau Sunrise, to consider promoting peace as a way of creating hope in the world, and in particular, the initiatives of the Rotary Clubs of Bahamas Road to Peace Committee. So you're familiar with the walkathons, the Peace in the Park, the Peace Seminar, peace conferences, and other initiatives, all designed to promote peace here in the Bahamas. And I know that you will no doubt support that. But I also encourage you to create hope in the world by continuing and considering to be diverse. And what do I mean by that? The whole idea of Rotary is we want the best leaders with the best ideas to come to the table to help us do the great work in this community. And that may mean that, we may have to, or there may be people we may not have considered in the past who could be great Rotarians, but they have something to offer. Who am I talking about? Well, why can't someone who maybe have a hearing impairment, or someone who may be blind or have some sight visions be a Rotarian. They may have a lot to offer. They may have a slight challenge with, at their hearing or their sight, but that doesn't mean that these individuals don't have something to offer to Rotary. Likewise, continue to be diverse in terms of the partnerships we pursue. Certainly partnerships with the government and public entities, but also private entities and private partners. And all of this ties in, again, to the 4 strategic priorities that I mentioned earlier: increasing our impact, enhance participant engagement, but you remember that second one, expanding our reach, reaching out to people in areas that maybe we've neglected and overlooked in the past, so that we can create hope in this world. But I also want to encourage you to remain focused. Again, we've done a lot, but we can't take our eye off the prize, which is our goal to continue to do goodwill and good work in the world. So while you've done a lot, there's still a lot more that you can do, and I know you will do under the great leadership of President Dino. And the beauty of all of this and the beauty of the Rotary is how we connect. And so when we look at last year's theme and we look at the current theme, it's amazing how they connect. Last year, the theme was Imagine Rotary. That was the theme of President Jennifer Jones. And of course, the theme this year is Create Hope in the World. Well, before you can create hope, you've got to imagine that hope. You've got to be able to view. You've got to be able to see that hope, to be able to create that change. So to create hope in the world, you must have that vision. I'm sure you will, or that dream to, first of all, to do it. And I think President McNally talks about it, touches this in his speech, and he talks about in Scotland about 4 great bridges that he would see normally on his driver's dental practice work, and they were built at different time periods. I think the earliest one probably was built in the 1800s. The last one I think built in about 2004 or 2007. And I think what he said is what impressed him so much is that these bridges were built, these 4 bridges at different times, but they were built by people who had a vision or dream for people that they would never meet, a vision and dream for people that they never knew. And their work or their dream is impacting the lives of the same people they never met and they never knew. And so that's what I encourage you to do today. To have the vision this year and your planning, your activities, to continue with all the great work that you're doing. But I want to encourage you to do it bigger and with a greater sense of urgency to create hope in the world, because in reality, the work you're doing now may not just impact the present generation, just like those great men and women that contributed to the building of that bridge in Scotland, but it may impact people you will never know and never meet. And that is the power of Rotary and the great organization that we are part of. And so I encourage you, Rotary Club of Nassau Sunrise, to create hope in the world.
And now for the vote of thanks by immediate past President Dornat.
Thank you. Good morning, President Dino, fellow Rotarians and guests. It is my pleasure to say thank you to my learned friend, A.G. Valentino. That sounds so good. A.G. Valentino has been a remarkable Rotarian. And I did ask Secretary Leah Carla to present him with a token on our behalf for this excellent presentation, one that was packed with great nuggets for us to move forward as a club. You not only inspired us, A.G. Valentino, to create hope, but you challenge us to even strive higher, to be a better club as we serve our communities, to be open to change, to have greater impact, to continue to build on the foundation that we have set throughout the years, the past leaders, and to take care of our members as we continue to do good around the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have inspired me, and from the comments I'm seeing in the chat, you have inspired our members. Thank you so much, AG Valentino.
Thank you.
Thank you, Valentino. My apologies for the some construction.
No, that's
So the
fine.
gift is on its way.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Tamara, it's now time for the raffles. So it's my lucky time.
Let's make sure you're online, people, you shake it. Just in case.
Six. I said.
2, 1. All right, let's start eliminating 4.
Yes, I'm still coming.
We eliminate some more people now. 1.
Oh.
10 persons, all right. All right, 6 to 1, 4, 1, 9. Who's lucky?
To be someone online.
Turn it over to the box. See the news.
Going once? No, going once? Going twice?
Tonette, is that you? Check your WhatsApp. It's you again. What's the number again? 621-419.
That's me?
Yes, it is. You'll get that in your inbox again. That's what being such a great past president.
Just before the four-way test, I see Director Akeisha in the room, so I'm gonna, do you have another announcement? We did announcements earlier, but if you have an announcement, I'd like to.
Good morning, Rotary Club of Nassau Sunrise and other Rotarians and guests online and in the room. Okay, so President Dino and I spoken, and with this month being Child and Maternal Health Month, we just thought it fitting to speak about an initiative and something that the Feeding 5,000 Network is actually doing, and to present it to the club for consideration for partnership. So we are doing for the second time around the Flow Future Leaders of Worth Summer Program. And it is an excellent opportunity, not only for you to invest treasure, but also to invest some time and to volunteer some hours to come on by and stop by and spend some time with us as we continue over the next, well, the remainder of this week, and the rest of July, as we continue with the rest of July, to serve in the inner city community to persons and young persons that are not just distressed, but we're making a great impact in their lives. And so you are invited to volunteer. I'm gonna forward some more details to him, and just wanted to put it out there so you could be aware and know that we are giving back and we are doing something really, 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 really good to persons that will not be able to pay us or repay us right now, but they'll be able to pay back and give payback and make a great contribution to the future. So just keep your heads up and your ears open for more details coming forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Akeisha. Please get that information to us so that we can send it out to the directors for consideration, and we'll get back to you. But also, along that same vein, the club was approached by the Willard Patton Preschool for a assistance with a summer program that they're running. We circled the request through to the board, and the board voted in favor of the club providing a $500 sponsorship. So we will be doing that as well for the Willard Patton. We all know Willard Patton and the work that they're doing there with the kids. And that $500 donation will go towards helping with some of the defraying the cost of some of the activities that the school is doing for the kids there. All right, so just wanted to bring that to your attention as we get that there. And now I'd like to call on past President Diana Lynn Miller for our four-way test. Online, past President.
Pleasant good morning.
Good morning.
Please unmute your mics so that we could conduct the four-way test and respond. The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth?
Is it
the truth? Is it fair to all concerned?
Is it fair to all concerned?
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Goodwill and better friendship.
And will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Now for PE, for the final toast.
So Rotary around the world.
Rotary around
Around the world.
Yes, we did.